Dip into your working folder one more time and open up 3dfactory.psd. We're going to talk about the world of 3D. Now, to me, 3D is not a fundamental or essential kind of thing for this type of Photoshop class. It's more of an intermediate thing to an advanced. It doesn't mean we can't play around, though. So I have the word wow in a type layer right over here. I'm going to pick up my text tool over here, and you'll notice we now have a button that says 3D. What we do when we click that button is kind of change everything about our perception of a two-dimensional workspace. Go ahead and click it. Now it's going to ask you something. It's going to say you're about to create a 3D layer. Would you like to switch to the 3D workspace? Thank you very much. I think I would. Click yes. This is the 3D workspace. Now we can close out history. We don't need that. What we now have is a down and dirty, very easy way to take something, not just text, it could be an object, into the world of 3 dimensions. Now we have some buttons to play around with. Number one, we have a little area up here. It's showing us an overhead view. If you click this button right here, it will swap. So you can see the overhead in the main area and then the front on over here. Let's swap that again. The word wow now begins to look a bit three-dimensional. If I click on it, I can begin putting it into a more three-dimensional perspective. Now you will notice up here that if you move it, allows you to change the infinite light source. We can get back to it again and begin playing around. Now we can go backwards or forward, depending on which one of these you click on. We can go out this way. We can take it up a little bit. Now that's fine in and of itself. It's kind of cool that we can do that. But if you come over here to Properties, 3D Properties, number one, you have an option here for Shape Presets. And if I click there, you get all these different ways you could try out. And they've got some pretty wonky ones in here, I want to tell you. How about something like that? Now you can do texture mapping, change things like the extrusion depth, change the color of the text here, go back to the character panel and change the font itself if you want to. You've got buttons up here for cast shadows, make it invisible so you only see the shadows themselves. Actually, it's a lot of fun to kind of play around with. We're not going to do too much more because, like I said, this is more of an intermediate kind of thing. If we go back to layers here, and here it is right here. If I right-click my mouse and I say render, go ahead and let it finish. It takes it a couple of seconds. Well, there you go. Let me go ahead and go back over here again, right-click, and we can say rasterize. Now what you have is paint, as if you were artistic enough, and you could be, to actually paint that as opposed to letting Photoshop do it for you. We move it around, play around with it. Everything's there, all the pieces. Now, if you go up to the word 3D, you will notice that you even have new mesh from layers. You've got presets, pyramids, rings, hats, soda, wine bottle. If you come down here and click Get More Content, you will be directed to a website where you can pull even more stuff off if you want to. The world of 3D in Adobe Photoshop, I think they're testing the waters to go further with this, but it's an interesting area to maybe add a little bit of perspective and depth to an image, even with text.